Okay, there we go. Okay, recording. Phew, I always forget that. All right, so yeah, like I was saying, this should be pretty short, pretty straightforward, and then we'll have time for questions at the end if you guys would like. So I'm going to talk about, share my screen with you. Here we go. Okay, the key, or I really should say keys, because it's not just one thing, the key to retaining customers and ambassadors. So January was a pretty big month for our team. We added a lot of people. A lot of people are wanting to, make changes and get healthy and all of that, which is, really exciting for us. So I felt like this would kind of be fitting for, considering what a big month we had in January. So we've added these people to our team, and now what do we do with them? How do we make sure that we are giving them the best experience possible and making sure that we are setting them up for success? Because, it really is our responsibility as their sponsor to give them good customer service. So great customer service. I think that really is where it starts, and you have to kind of get in that mind frame. And I will be honest, when I first started out almost 4 years ago, I just didn't have this mind frame. I just was, pretty timid and pretty shy and felt really awkward. And I didn't really know what to do with my customers and ambassadors. So I didn't do a very good job of giving good customer service when I first started out. And so I want to hopefully help you guys not make the same mistakes that I did. So, it's going to begin with you being professional. This is a business, this is, whether you're in it to get your products covered or whether you're in it to go all the way to the top or somewhere in between, this is a business. And so, we have to always make sure that we are professional in the way we treat our potentials, whether that's customers or ambassadors, and just the way that, the mindset that we have about what we're doing. We are providing a service to our customers and to our ambassadors. And I think that when we're talking about whether it's signing up an ambassador or signing up a customer, I think great customer service obviously is going to start at the very beginning of their experience. And one of the, you're obviously going to have a conversation with them, but before they order, usually, almost always. But I think giving them great customer service is going to start with signing them up over the phone. So whether that's walking them through the enrollment process or whether that is walking them through placing their order. So you see these little kind of hand going like this. Anytime you see that in the PowerPoint, that's like a script. So you can screenshot this screen or if you've got a pen and paper, that's great. I know not everybody loves scripts, but I think a lot of people do. I know I do. And I don't always take them word for word, but at least it gives me a framework. So I can tweak it a little bit and make it sound more like me. But if I have a framework of, where something to start with, it's super, super helpful to me. Even 4 years in, it's really, really helpful to me. So anytime you see that little hand, that's going to be a script for you to use. So I thought I'd make it kind of easy to get those or to point those out. Okay, so signing up over the phone. I'll be honest, this is not something that's comfortable for me. I am not a phone talker. I don't know. I'm just not. And so, the idea of signing somebody up over the phone is definitely outside of my comfort zone. But what I've realized is that it's just so much easier to do it over the phone, to do it with them. If you can do it for them, that's even better. I was helping my mom. She's not, she's a sideline. So she's on, we're both under my sister-in-law, Amber, but I was helping my mom get somebody signed up over the phone today. It was just a customer placing an order. And, you know, she had a couple things that she wasn't sure how she was doing it. And, it took me back to this screen and I'm not sure what I did. And now it's not letting me go forward. And, you know, it was more than one thing that she kind of got hung up on. And if she had been doing that on her own, just without me on the phone with her, I bet she would have just said, like, I don't know what's happening. I can't figure this out. I'll just do this later and quit in the middle of it, because she didn't know, you know, why it was, you know, what she typed in wrong or whatever. So it's just so important for you to be on the phone with them when they're doing it. Our website is getting better and better and better. I'm very thankful for that, and so thankful for the new site versus the old site. It's leaps and bounds better. But it is still new, and there are still glitches, you know, from time to time. And so if you're on the phone with them, it just prevents them from, you know, if something happens and they don't know what's going on, prevents them from giving up. And then also, especially if this is an ambassador, they really need to be walked through that process, because, you know, I was talking to another girl on our team, and she was saying that she signed somebody up and they ordered the wrong welcome pack. And we were like, how do you do that? Like, how do you get the wrong welcome pack? But, you know, this girl wanted to do it on her own and didn't have anybody walking her through it. And she made a mistake, you know, so especially if it's an ambassador, they need you to walk them through it, because you need to make sure they're getting the right welcome pack. But then the most important thing for a brand new ambassador is making sure that they get their subscription order on. If you're not on the phone to tell them, okay, here's the part where you're going to set up your monthly order. This is what your monthly order is. We're just going to make it the same as your welcome pack. This is why it's important to have your subscription on. And we'll talk about that in a few more slides. But it is your job to make sure that they have that on. And if you haven't talked to them about that, and if they don't have it on, then we really haven't done our job well. We haven't given them the best customer service that we possibly can. So especially for ambassadors, it's just so key. And, you know, again, learn from my mistakes. Having to track somebody down after they've already signed up and didn't turn their subscription on is so much harder than just getting on the phone with them and walking them through it and making sure it's on right from the beginning. Okay, so here's where we'll get into, we'll talk about subscription orders is going to fit in here, but setting expectations. I always talk about setting expectations because I think this is so important too. People want a quick fix. We have Amazon Prime, and we have, you know, streaming TV, and we have all of these things that are, you know, instant. And we are just not used to being patient and waiting for things. And so, you know, people really have to be, for lack of a better word, they kind of have to be drilled that this is not a quick fix, and this isn't, you know, some sort of magic pill that you're going to see incredible, amazing changes in 30 days. Some people do. There absolutely are lots of people who do, but you do not want anybody to expect life-altering changes in those first 30 days, because if they don't see them, then they're going to think our products don't work and they're going to give up. So you have to be telling customers and ambassadors that they really need to commit to 3 to 6 months on our products. I think it's really interesting. I've always said, like, you know, my reasoning when I'm talking to a customer or a potential customer or ambassador, I always tell them, you know, this isn't a Plexus thing, but it's a general supplement rule that, you know, any new supplement that you start, you need to give your body at least 3 months to adjust, plus 1 year for 1 month for every year that you've been struggling with a specific health issue. And I think this really kind of helps to wrap their brains around why they need to commit to at least those 90 days, but better 3 to 6 months. and they're not expecting to see a whole lot of changes in those first 3 months. So I learned that a long time ago, and I feel like it's been super helpful. And I always make sure to say that anytime I'm talking to somebody before they put their order in. But then I heard this the other day on a call. Sorry. And I felt like, yeah, this totally just backs up that, 3-month rule, that it takes 90 days for your body to regenerate healthy cells, and then 6 weeks to 6 months to improve gut health. And I think, people need to know that. They need to know why our products take time to work, not just that they take time, but why they take time. If you understand, the process behind it, committing to those, 90 to 3 to 6 months is a little bit easier when you understand why you have to do that. So if you are, again, I think this is just one of the absolute most important things you can do. If you're not setting expectations well before they start, then you really are failing them as a sponsor. You're not doing your job well. We aren't doing our job well if we don't set expectations, because if they don't know what to expect and then they quit after 30 days, but nobody has ever told them that our products take longer than 30 days to work generally, then the only people we can blame for them quitting is ourselves, because we didn't do a good job making sure that they understand the timetable. So, everybody's body responds differently, and routines may need to be tweaked. So again, those first 30 days, you're working up to a full dose of things. You're trying to figure out what works. People are trying to get in a good routine. Some people have a tough time being consistent. So those first 30 days really are kind of a throwaway. I would tell, people to not expect anything in those first 30 days. You're just figuring out your routine. Those second 30 days, your body is just starting to figure out how to, what to do with all of these really awesome things that are, that they're getting put in their body. And then those generally, again, everybody's different, but our hope would be those next 30 days is when your body really starts to be able to utilize our products well. People who have serious health issues or have been dealing with chronic issues for a long time, it's going to take longer than that for them. Sometimes you need to switch up your product. Sometimes people need to add an X factor, or they need to be on a loading dose of Ease, or they need to switch from Slim and Accelerator to the Triplex, especially if weight loss is their goal. Anybody, just quick side note, anybody who ever orders just Slim and Accelerator or Slim and Boost and wants weight loss, I say that's great. We could start out with that, but I just want you to know that if you're not, seeing the results you want to within, 2 to 3 months or so, we may need to switch you to a different combo of products, because if you're not, if we haven't addressed that gut health component, that may be why, you're not seeing results. So again, setting their expectations that if this combo doesn't work for you, we may have to switch you to a different one, just so you know. And then I think, especially starting out, I totally understand that it's kind of, it can feel uncomfortable. It can feel hard to ask people to commit to 3 to 6 months to spending, to fitting this into their budget for 3 to 6 months. But I think, if that's something you feel uncomfortable about, I think that you really need to think about your mindset, and you really have to switch that, because if you don't feel comfortable doing that, then that's going to come across, in your tone of voice, and in maybe if you're face to face in your body language, but people are going to be able to see through that. And, honestly, like we said before, our products are not a quick fix. And so you have to be confident in what we have, and, that our products do work if people give them enough time. If somebody, says they want to quit because they haven't seen results, it's one of two things. They either haven't given it enough time, because for some people it takes longer than 3 months. Again, everybody's different. They either haven't given it enough time, or they're on the wrong combo. They need to switch up their combo. So you really have to have confidence in our products, that our products work well, and that our products can help, whoever it is that you're talking to. But you have to set your customers and ambassadors' expectations before they start. So this is a conversation you need to have with every single person, just so they understand what the process is going to look like. Another thing that can help them kind of stick around is to help them get a buddy or 3. When they are, and this kind of, you can definitely use this for customers, but this is maybe more geared towards somebody who's signing up as an ambassador. Whether they have interest in working the business or not, it doesn't really matter. They have a website, and they have the ability to have people order from them. And so, why not take advantage of that? So, and if we can get them a customer or 2 or 3, then they're much more likely to stick around. And, going into that, know that you are going to have to kind of take the reins for, if they do have a friend or a family member or 2 that are going to join them, then you really are going to have to treat all of those people like your level ones, because that brand new person has no idea what they're doing. And that's just part of what we do. So just know that, you're going to have to kind of take those people on as your own. But, while you're on the phone with them, signing them up or getting their order in, just ask them if they have a friend or 2 who would want to join. And I think, so this is kind of more of these aren't all separate messages, but this would kind of be maybe how your conversation would go. So you could say, I'm so excited we got your order in. So this was really interesting. I learned this recently, that research shows that we're more successful when we have some accountability. And since I want you to be, the most successful that you can be with our products, I'm just wondering if you maybe can think of 1 or 2 people who might want to do this with you. Maybe you have a best friend or a mom or a sister or a brother or a dad, or, somebody who would love our products and who would want to help keep you accountable. And then just let them think on that for a couple minutes, and see if they come up with any names. And if they do, then make it easy for them. A lot of people don't know what to say. They don't have a ton of experience with their products, and they don't know anything really about about our products. They maybe know why they jumped on board, but they don't have the knowledge that you, or if you're just starting out, your upline has about how our products work. So make it super easy for them. If they do give you a name or 2 or 3, say, okay, awesome. Let me send you a quick message. Don't even ask. Don't ask them, can I send you this, or would you like me to send you this? Just tell them, let me send you a quick message that you can forward to them. And if they're interested, we'll get on a 3-way, either phone call or a text or, Facebook message or something like that. A 3-way conversation with them, and I'll answer any questions they have, so you don't have to worry about it. And again, if you're just starting out, you would probably have your upline in this conversation as well, so that they can answer all their questions, which they will be happy to do, I promise you. So take the guesswork out of it for them, make it super easy. Just say, I have it, have this typed up to the notes on your phone, and so that you have it really, really handy, and you can just send it to them super quick. But you basically just want this to be a very casual, super casual message. So they could, let's see, the very bottom here. So this is the message that they would send to their friend. And again, this is kind of more like a conversation, not just one message, but this is how we talk. We have conversations, right? So they can just say something initially like, hey, this is super random, but have you ever heard of Plexus? And that's it. That's their first message. And somebody's either going to say, yeah, I have, or no, I haven't. And either way, you could say, well, it's a health and wellness company, or not you, they would say it's a health and wellness company, and I just ordered a couple products from them, and I need a buddy. Hang on, the window is in the way of my screen. There we go. And I need a buddy to help keep me in line. I think you'd really like it too. Will you do it with me? So just really casual, that's just really conversational language. And if they say yes, obviously, then they can send them the next message. Okay, let me get my friend, whatever your name is, to chat with us about it. She knows a ton. And that's it. And then they just need to connect the 3 of you, or the 4 of you if your upline's going to be included. And you guys take it from there. They don't have to know anything. They don't have to answer any questions. But this is a great way to get them an accountability partner and maybe even help them earn a little bit of money back. And you don't even have to tell them that this is going to earn them some money back. You don't even have to make this about the business, especially if they've never if they've said like, yeah, I want to try their products, but I really am not interested in the business. Then don't ever mention, that like, oh, you can make a little money on this. Like, that doesn't need to be where the conversation is steered, because they've already said they aren't really, interested in that side of it. And you don't want them to think that you're trying to like sneakily, is that a word? I don't know. That you're trying to like make them work the business without them realizing they're working the business. So, I think that's that's another tip I heard recently on a call that I had never thought of it that way. But it really makes a lot of sense to me to kind of not go there if they've already said they don't want to go there. So, hopefully these little kind of scripts are helpful to you. And then, here we go. Okay. And then the next, I think this might be one of our last slides, but again, super, super, super important to retaining customers and ambassadors and to giving good customer service is following up. So if you haven't heard this already, you'll hear it a lot. The fortune is in the follow-up, and that could not be more true. Again, part of giving good customer service and part of your responsibility as their sponsor is to check in with them and to follow up and to make sure that everything is going okay. And I'll be honest, again, when I first started out, this was something that was really, really uncomfortable for me. I don't know why. I think I just didn't really have confidence in myself, and I just felt really awkward, like, hey, how you doing? How's it going? It just felt very, very awkward to me. But, when I first started out, I, of course, had some customers, and I didn't follow up with them well, and guess what happened? They all quit because I didn't do a good job following up with them. So this really is just a huge responsibility that lies solely on you. Nobody else can do this for you. So, but you have to follow up in an effective way. So we want to ask positive, open-ended questions. So not just, like, are you feeling more energy, or have you lost any weight, or how are you sleeping, or, anything like that, because we don't want them to think that if none of those things have happened, like that they should have happened, and that if they haven't happened, then something's not going right. So, just ask kind of more general, open-ended questions. And then here's some examples of questions that you can ask them. So this is, especially those first 30 days are really, really, really key. You need to be checking in with people often to make sure that they are started out well. So again, I'm borrowing this from, who was it? It might have been Emily Gibson. Anyway, it was something I heard recently. And this was basically my system too, but I like that she gave specific questions. So I thought I'd add that in here for you. So you want to make it your goal to check in with them 4 times in those first 30 days. So you want to check in with them a few days after they have placed their order. Keep in mind that welcome packs typically come faster than customer orders because they're shipped out 2-day air. And then all of their products are priority mail. So welcome packs generally get there a little bit quicker. But you want to check in with them and make sure that they've gotten their products, asked if they have started yet. And, if they have, ask, what did you think of the taste of the pink drink? Or if they haven't started, you want to make sure to get them a schedule on what to take and when. Ideally you would have already sent that to them right away. But if, sometimes you'll get, people will just say like, yeah, I've gotten my products. I just haven't started yet. And that's okay. Okay, great. I'm so glad you have them. Do you want to get started tomorrow? Or like, you just need to know when they're going to get started so that you can check in with them. So yeah, open-ended questions. Did you get your products? What did you think of the taste? And then about a week after they start, you need to check in with them again, ask them about their water, because water is super, super, super important, right? We all know that, how important water is to just everyday success of our products. So, and not everybody's a water drinker. I definitely was not a water drinker when I first started. So make sure that they're drinking enough water, and then just ask them about their routine. For some people, it's going to be really easy for them to fall into a consistent routine. Other people really, really struggle with remembering to take things every day. And so, you want to make sure that if they are struggling, that you give them some tips on how to remember things. So my favorite tip to give to people who are maybe struggling with their routine is just to say, because I did when I first started, and still sometimes I forget. But what really, really helped me was 2 things. So first, setting an alarm on my phone. And so, if you're taking 4 BioCleanse a day, maybe they need to set an alarm for 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. But setting an alarm on your phone to remind you to take your products, so it's that alarm is set for every single day, so that it's going to go off even on the weekends. Sometimes people forget on weekends. They're really good during the week, but then, oh shoot, I just get out of my routine and I forget on the weekends. So set an alarm on your phone, and then also carrying product with you. So putting a little bit in, one of those little tiny Tupperwares, or even like a little Ziploc baggie to keep in your purse, or maybe their desk at work or something like that. Some sticks of Slim in their purse or in their desk at work. But so no matter where you are, when that alarm goes off, you're going to have your products with you, and you're not going to have any reason to not take them. It's going to be super simple, super convenient. You don't ever have to think about it. So that's something that's helped me, and I think just a tip that's really, really helpful for people who are struggling with their routine. All right. So then about 2 weeks after they start, you want to check in with them again and make sure that they're, not experiencing any detox, because sometimes, that definitely can happen. So what Emily Gibson says, and I think this is just really great the way she worded it. So she said, she's just another diamond in the company, if you haven't heard of her, by the way. She just sends them a message and she says, hey, how are you doing? With how's everything going? I remember about this time when I first started, I started to feel a little bit funny. Maybe you had headaches, or maybe you're going to the bathroom a ton, or maybe you were just feeling exhausted. But maybe just kind of list off a couple of things that you were experiencing when you first started out. And you can just tell them, maybe you aren't feeling any of these things, and that's fine. That's great. But I just wanted to check in with you to see how you are feeling. And this can be between 2 to 3 weeks, anywhere between the 2 to 3 week mark. If they are experiencing detox, you want to, actually we'll talk about we'll talk about troubleshooting next if I remember my order right. So I won't get into that now. And then you want to check in with them again that fourth time in that first 30 days, just a few days before their order is about to ship, just to make sure, if they need to change anything in their order, ask them, how they're doing with their products. Are they running out, or do they have a bunch left? If they have a bunch left, then that only means one thing, right? That they haven't been consistent. And so if they say they have a lot and say that, I think I'm going to, I don't need any products yet, I'm not ready for more. You can suggest to them that they can double up on a couple of our products. So obviously, you're going to take as much BioCleanse as you need. You don't you don't want to double up on that, but you can absolutely double up on Slim, and you can absolutely double up on ProBio. And I really love for people to be on for ProBio for a month if they can swing that extra bottle. So if somebody has too much product, this is a really great opportunity for you to be able to say like, oh, you know what? That's okay. Don't even worry about it. You can totally double up on your Slim. Our I mixed the word studies and trials. Our clinical trials were done with 2 Slims a day. So that's definitely the optimal way to use Slim. So that is a great option for them. And then also let them know that they can slowly work up to, at that point, they should be on 2 ProBio a day for sure. But let them know that they can slowly work up to 4 to get through the rest of that, and just say, that's a really great temporary dosage to be on. It gets pretty aggressive and gets in there and gets all that bad bacteria cleaned out. So being able to be on for ProBio for a short period of time is a really, really good thing. So if they're saying they have too much product, you can suggest that, and hopefully that will keep them from turning their order off, or, because again, if they turn their order off, then you have to, a lot of times, people forget, So if we can prevent that from happening and kind of keep them rolling with their routine and keep things going, it just makes it easier for everybody in the long run. Okay, so here we go, troubleshooting. So if you get to that check-in point around the 2 to 3 week mark and they're like, yeah, I'm just feeling, I'm feeling like crap or something like that. I'm having a ton of headaches, or I'm so tired, or some people have it mild, some people have it pretty extreme. Get your upline involved. There's that third-party validation that really, really goes a long way. So sympathize with them. Just tell them, guys, oh, shoot, I'm so sorry you're dealing with that. But it's actually a good thing. Let them know that that's a good thing. Detox means that our products are working and that you had junk to clear out of your system. So I'm so glad, I'm so sorry. I know this isn't fun, but, I'm secretly kind of glad, because that means that good things are happening. Good things are coming. So be positive about it and just say like, hey, I'm going to get my friend in this chat and she can help give you some suggestions on what to do. She or he can give you some suggestions on what you can do. Typically, we're going to maybe really reiterate water intake. We might need just to tweak some products a little bit. But if you don't feel comfortable troubleshooting on your own when you're just starting out, then always ask your upline to help you, get involved in doing that. I have people on my team, level 1s and level 2s even, that have been doing this a long time and still ask me to help them troubleshoot. Not because they don't know what they're doing or they don't know how to troubleshoot, but because they just want, they just want somebody to kind of validate their thoughts and just make sure that they're recommending the right things. So it's always nice to have kind of a second opinion on that. So get your upline involved and be positive on that. Okay, so the last thing you can do, and I'll check the chat in a minute, and then if you guys have any questions, we can talk about that. The last thing you can do to really help retain your customers and ambassadors is just build that relationship. Again, if you haven't heard this before, you're going to hear it a lot. We are in the business of building relationships. We some people call this relationship marketing, not network marketing. And I think that that's so true. And I think that's maybe even more true with our company than with a lot of others out there, just because of the type of product we have. And we get kind of personal with people. Like, we get into the nitty gritty of their lives, and really hear about their struggles, and and just hear personal stuff that I think other people and other companies don't really get to that deep level. So it's just really important for us to be connecting with customers and ambassadors about non-Plexus stuff too. Ask them how their holiday went, or ask them what their plans are for summer, or just make sure to connect on a different level. And I think this is something that I have learned from watching other people, and even just non-Plexus friends in my life. But like, when you know somebody who's really good at like sympathizing or empathizing with you, like, it just really, really endears you to them. It really makes you feel like they care about you, and we do care about our customers and our ambassadors. They're our friends and they're our family. So if they're having a tough time with something, tell them how sorry you are. Tell them, ask if you can pray for them, if there's anything you can do for them. Check back in with them, ask how things are going, or, but anyway, just all of those things really, really help build a relationship. And they don't feel like you're just in it to make some money off of them, that's not what this is about. We're here to help people, and to be, to offer them hope, and encouragement, and just be a support to them. So I think that this is kind of an aspect that we don't typically think about when we're thinking about, retaining customers and ambassadors, but it is just such a key part of what we do. So always keep that in mind. And okay, checking chat, Krista. I actually wasn't thinking of you, Krista. I was thinking of somebody else, funny enough. But okay, so we're at the end. If you guys have any questions, it can be questions about what we were talking about tonight. It can be something completely unrelated. Maybe you don't know what to say when somebody says it's too expensive, or maybe you don't know how to cold message, or, I love answering questions. So feel free to ask any questions you have about this or anything else.
Sarah, I have a question.
Yeah.
What do you say when, like, let's say you give a sample to someone and you ask what they think of it, and they're like, yeah, it was great. What do you say after that? It's still kind of stuff like, well, do you want to try it for a month or two?
Yeah, it's funny because I generally ask like what their health goals are.
Okay.
Like, so what are your health goals? What are your health goals, or what are some changes that you would like to make in your health? Or maybe, and again, if it's somebody who you reached out to, you obviously can't ask this question, but if it's somebody who reached out to you, if you haven't already asked them, you could ask them like, so what was it about it that piqued your interest? And that's kind of a way to get, but I feel like asking about health goals is a great way to move the conversation forward. And if you already have, you already know what their health goals or health, why they're interested in the products, then you can always go back to that and just say like, I'm so glad you liked it. I really love it too. I think this combo would be awesome for you. It's really going to help with, ABC that you mentioned. But yeah, I feel like going back to those health goals is helpful.
Okay, thank you.
Mm.
Sarah, I had a question.
You cut your hair.
I cut it. I know it looks all funky right now. I'm still trying to like figure out how to style it, I guess. It's really short.
Very cute.
Anyways, so I have been messaging people. I'll in either a text or a voice message, but I'll just ask them, like if I'm just like the first initial bringing plexus up in the conversation. I've been saying, I know you've seen like my plexus posts on here before, and you've seen the pink drink. Have you ever tried it? And that's all I ask them. And I've gotten some really good responses from there. Either people will say, yeah, I've tried it, and then they'll share a little bit about their experiences that they've had with it before. A lot of them have been negative, though. Like, I got this one gal who said that she had tried it before, and she was like, I tried it, but it, I don't know, she had some weird problem with it, and she was like, it just isn't for me, but thanks for asking anyways. And I mean, probably like 50-50. Like half the people give me positive responses and half people don't. But that was kind of my question too. Like people who say like, no, I have never heard anything about it. I was like, what do I do now? Like, what do I say? So like one lady I was working with, I just kind of moved the conversation away from plexus now that I know that she has nothing. She hadn't heard anything about it. She hadn't tried it, nothing. She didn't even know what plexus was. So I kind of just gave her like a brief summary, and then I just kind of steered away from plexus just because I wanted to like get more of a conversation going outside of plexus first. Is that kind of like an appropriate way to have handled that?
I think, building a relationship is always good. Always, always, always. I think, for somebody who has said like, no, I've never heard of it, you can kind of bring it back around and just say, offer to send them a sample. I think that's probably the easiest way to get that conversation going. And I would maybe send them link to a catalog, or, if you have like brochures, I would send that with your sample, or if you have catalogs you can send out, just so they have a little bit of kind of information and reference to like, what is this pink stuff? But yeah, I don't think it's bad to, to build that relationship. But yeah, I feel like sending out a sample is a really great way to get to kind of, again, move things forward and get the conversation going. And just ask them questions. Do you take any supplements right now? And after they've tried their sample, what do you think about it? Do you have any health goals or anything like that? So I think just, you can never go wrong with asking questions.
Can you give me some more examples of questions to ask? Like the one you just said, like, do you take any supplements? That's actually a really good one. Like, I didn't think about that one. What are some other good questions to ask people, just in general, when you're asking about anything?
Well, anybody else feel free to chime in too, because it's hard to think of them off the top of my head. But yeah, I think do you take any supplements right now? I think is a great one. Obviously, like you said, have you ever heard of plexus? What are your health goals is always a great one. And maybe if they do take supplements, you can ask like, oh, how have you liked them? Have you noticed a difference? That's all I don't know. That's all I can think
of. Well,
if
you think of more, text them to me or message them to me, because like I had one lady tell me, because I couldn't think of a better question to ask, so I just said, do you have any health issues that you're dealing with right now? And she says, well, not really any. I'm pretty healthy. So then I really didn't know what to say after that. So I was just kind of like, what do I say after that? Like I couldn't think of something. So
yeah.
I just didn't answer. I ended up asking her something else, but I didn't know how to respond to that in like I didn't know what to do. I think I really need to practice that thing, coming up with like questions to ask. I need to like brainstorm one day.
Yeah, and it's kind of tough because every conversation is different. You know, every conversation is going to take a little bit different twist and turn, and so it's good to have some general questions always floating around at the top of your brain. But sometimes you're just going to have to kind of go with, you know, who the person is and how the conversation is going. And but I don't know. I don't know if Krista has any. I don't know. Maybe.
I was just gonna say, because I've had a couple people tell me that lately too, and I've started using the feel, felt, found method. Like, oh yeah, I felt the same way.
Yeah.
Or I know how you feel. I felt the same way before starting Plexus. Like I ate pretty healthy. I exercised regularly. I didn't see the need for supplements, but after doing the research, or however you want to say it, kind of tell them a tiny bit about like the importance of gut health and things like that. I mean, without like sending them a gigantic paragraph. But just so, yeah, that you're relating to how they feel, but now I've found this through Plexus.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think
then you can tell them your story or share a little bit more about your journey.
Yeah, okay. You can almost always use that in any conversation. That's definitely a go-to. And I do think that, sending them a sample is a great way to, like I said, to keep that conversation going, but without being pushy, without saying like, just without being too pushy with trying to, especially if they're like, oh no, and I'm pretty healthy. And it's kind of like, oh, well.
Yeah, where do I go now?
Yeah, like, oh, okay, bye. But if you say like, oh, I'd love to send you, I'm just kind of still learning a lot. If I sent you a sample, would you give me your honest feedback? I'd really love, your help or something like that. And so then it's not about, trying to push them into a sale. It's about, them trying it and just giving you their honest opinion. And then, you can kind of go from there.
Right. Okay.
All right. You're the last one left, Alyssa. Do you have any other?
Oh, no, you answered all my questions for now.
All right. Well, you guys all have a good Monday evening. Thanks for hopping on.
Thanks, Sarah. This was really helpful.
You're welcome. Hopefully it was. All right. I will.
Alrighty. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. At some point I'll get this uploaded to our team page. So
thank you.
All right, you guys have a good night. I'll see you later.
All right. Bye.